8 Saturdays remain in the regular season, which means the push to the USL Cup playoffs is in full swing. And tonight marks a monumental match in the Western Conference at Toyota Field. San Antonio FC welcomes in Swope Park Rangers. We have it for you on Fox Sports Southwest. A pleasant good evening, everyone. Welcome to the broadcast booth with the coach, Tim Hankinson. I'm Dan Weiss. Anya Rosales joins us down on the field in a bit. It's great to have you with us. 3 Saturdays ago, San Antonio FC departed for the road on the heels of some great momentum. Winners of 4 in a row, but Coach, Darren Powell's club has come back home in a much different situation.
The road is very tough. You know, everything seems to work against you. Different beds, different referees, different climate, areas of the country. A lot of young players on this team, and the kind of mistakes that we were making in these last 3 games really had put us in a hole. So tonight is a bit of a crisis game. Time to overachieve and bring your best stuff.
3 straight road losses for San Antonio. It's the longest losing streak in their USL history. And Tim, take a look at the difference in play between home and road, and it's pretty stagnant for San Antonio this year.
It is, and sometimes you've got to look at those differences in the home and the road record and change your tactics for the road. Maybe become a more defensive team and just make sure you're in matches at the end. But at home, Toyota Field has been a brilliant place for this team to play. They have a lot of success, a lot of attacking, and hopefully we'll see great goals tonight.
Well, we talked about what a monumental match this is tonight in the Western Conference table. San Antonio FC and Swope Park Rangers are essentially tied for the 8th and final playoff spot. San Antonio with a game in hand. But Tim, look at just where everybody is in that bottom half of the Western Conference table, and with 10 games left, these are huge matches down the stretch.
It's about momentum. I mean, you think about, beyond 3 games ago, we had a 4-game win streak, hottest team in the league, and then we go through this 3-game road swing and fall short every single game. So from that standpoint, this is a crucial game to be able to regain momentum. They have got to get in the win column again and start building points to the future. It's great to be in 8th, but you're in 8th by a hair, and things can switch quickly. So victories are the only solution at this point.
San Antonio FC is back at home where they have been one of the best teams in the USL in their 3 seasons. Anya Rosales will have more on that. We'll have our starting 11 and kickoff when we return on Fox Sports Southwest.
Thanks. It's like a smart thing. What's the weather?
Sunny. Perfect chicken eating weather.
How'd you get in here?
It's time for chicken.
What's the traffic like?
Rerouting you to chicken.
Okay.
Hey, Calzo, order pizza.
Ordering chicken.
No, pizza.
Chicken.
Okay, chicken it is.
Chicken biscuits made fresh daily for breakfast.
Now that's smart.
Corner stores are proudly becoming Circle K, home of the Polar Pop Cup. That's right, you can enjoy any size Polar Pop Cup filled to the brim with your favorite flavor for just 79 cents at any corner store. Nothing stays cold longer, and the Polar Pop Cup is the best way to quench your thirst. Stay refreshed all day long for just 79 cents. Corner store, proudly becoming Circle K.
Here come the last of our 2018s.
Toyota's national clearance event is the best part of summer.
And with super low APR financing and great lease deals, it won't last long.
Oh, I'm so excited.
You are not alone.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mwah! Yes!
But my job.
Right now, qualified buyers get 0% APR financing for 60 months, plus a $2,000 special edition bonus on a new 2018 Tundra Crewmax Special Edition.
Save on the last of the 2018s. Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
When it needs to be ultra exciting, high flying, non-stop action, San Antonio FC Soccer's got you covered. When it needs to be high performing, hard working, high tech, super safe, built for comfort, and surprisingly affordable, Holt Cat has got you covered. With best-in-class cat heavy equipment, engines, generators, and more, plus legendary service and support, and the largest parts inventory and distribution network in Texas. Kick it into high gear with Holt Cat.
prone, which the team has been the last 3 games, you know, you start to doubt, can you get results on the road? But, you know, with 10 games left and being right on that bubble of a playoff spot, you need to play well home and away. And tonight, getting off to a great start is going to be an important piece for the team.
Haji Berry on the attack, along with his teammate Carlton Belmar, tied for the team lead in goals 9th. They're tied for 16th overall in USL play. San Antonio FC coming off a 4-0 defeat Wednesday night in Phoenix against Phoenix Rising FC, and taking on a Swope Park Rangers club that, even though they're level with San Antonio FC in the table, 34 points, they are winless in their last 8 games, Tim. They have not won in nearly 2 months, going back to a victory over Sacramento on July the 5th.
You know, no matter how good it looks on the field or on paper, a result is a result. And it's not about analytics, and they've been a little bit unlucky because the dynamics of Blackwood as a target player up top, and Belmar and Barry playing their one-on-one, all 3 players with pace, great athleticism. That's going to be dangerous all night. It comes from all different angles, and you look at the kind of mistakes that we've made on the road the last 3 games. Cut back balls that we're not picking up that player. Center backs have to step up and challenge the shots, and we've made mistakes. You know, we saw Restrepo make a pass to one of their players that leads to the 2nd goal against Phoenix. So we've got to do better at helping ourselves and just be more aggressive and more compact and as a unit to be able to take on the challenges of these 3 attacking players up top tonight.
Talking with Darren Powell yesterday in training, I asked him what the key was for tonight coming off of the disappointing trip, and he said short memories. We have to have short memories going into tonight's match. Can't dwell on what has taken place over the last 3 weeks. It's about coming back to home, where San Antonio FC has been very successful, as Anya illustrated at the top of the broadcast tonight. Was Pekka in possession with the ball. Pekka and Mikey Lopez back in the 11 tonight for San Antonio FC. They both served suspensions, 1 game each for card accumulation, so both fresh at least, and though they haven't played now in a week and a half, because San Antonio FC did not play last Saturday night. The previous game was a Wednesday prior in Portland. That was the last game Matt Cardone started in that 2-1 defeat against Timbers 2. 4th start of the year for Cardone. He's 1-1-1, and this is his 25th career appearance with San Antonio FC.
Great to see Bryant get his first touches of the ball there.
Omar Gordon out wide here in his normal spot on the left side now as he goes back across with Greg Cochran. Gordon again going to be on the left tonight. Connor Presley on the right. San Antonio FC made an interesting acquisition in the middle of the week, and a key acquisition perhaps in acquiring Lance Lang on loan from FC Cincinnati. 30-year-old Jamaican who is in the 18 tonight, not in the starting 11, but 30 career goals in his North American career that has spanned 158 matches. He was scoreless in 6 matches in Cincinnati, kind of fell out of favor with the coaching staff. He could be a real key on that left side, Tim, for San Antonio in these last 10 games.
I think as he gets to know his teammates and make sure that his fitness is up and ready, that him playing on the left side with Omar on the right is going to create a little bit of what we're seeing in Swope Park with Belmar and Barry, the 2 speedsters that love to go one-on-one. Lang used to be with Tampa Bay Rowdies a left back, but when he moved to Edmonton, they saw all this attacking ability. They moved him into the left wing, and that year he was best 11. Tremendous free kick and great explosiveness. So he's going to be a strength for this team, just needs those couple of games. Hopefully we see him tonight.
Eric Dick is the opposing keeper tonight of Matt Cardone's 23-year-old rookie. He's the 13th overall pick in this past Major League Soccer Super Draft by Sporting Kansas City, the reigning Big East Keeper of the Year after 2 spectacular years at Butler University in Indianapolis, where he went 27, 10, and 4. 28 clean sheets in his collegiate career, and a giveaway by San Antonio FC. Nice job stepping up by Greg Cochran as he stepped right in front of Haji Berry, who that pass was intended for inside the 18-yard box.
Those are the kind of distribution mistakes and breakdowns that can lead to quick counterattack goals, and it's going to be vital that Lopez and Pekka be very easy to find for our defenders so they don't have to make intricate passes. And then guys like Pekka with his experience have got to find Bryant and get him played into the game.
Felipe Hernandez is the right-footed in-swinger, will take this first corner of the match to the deep post, headed down, through, and it's an opening goal in the opening minutes. for Swope Park Rangers. And up top, Haji Berry has his 10th of the season, and the Rangers lead it 1-0.
Yeah, it's unfortunate we didn't challenge for that ball well. We were caught flat-footed. And then we start losing our marks in the box so that a player finds himself free. These are just the disciplines of staying with your mark, not ball watching. You got to be up first. If you're flat-footed and the opponent's up, they are showing a greater desire than you are to get to that ball. And they certainly did that time.
Haji Berry, former 13th overall pick by Orlando City in the 2016 Major League Soccer Super Draft. What an acquisition he's been for Swope Park Rangers. His 10th goal, and this is his 25th appearance. He's also among the league leaders in chances created at 30. It's Kyle Murphy now in transition for San Antonio, edge of the box, and his service across deflected out by the captain, Amir Džidić, to lead to San Antonio's first corner.
Again, you can see Bryant's influence on the attacking part of the game, how he fed Guzman in. He's a player, again, even though he's young, if he's been asked to do this role for the club, which is to play make and take risk with the passes, then you've got to find his feet as often as possible. Let him do his job.
And here is the aforementioned Ethan Bryant. He'll take the first Circle K corner of the match. This one into the area. Defended out well by Swope Park Rangers, and here they go on the counter attack quickly. Cochran defending it out, and the throw in here for Swope. So Tim, you've coached this game a long time. You're a team in San Antonio whose confidence is already a little bit shaken coming into this match, having lost your last three, and then you give up a goal in the 6th minute. How do you approach from this point on?
Well, you stick to the game plan. I mean, you're far from out of a game like this. It's an unfortunate way to start it. You got to make sure that you take care of the possession, because you don't want to start giving balls away, because it shakes your confidence a bit. And I've said before, to get out of a rut like this, you need big play from a big player tonight. And who that's going to be is something for us all to watch for.
San Antonio will be awarded the ball.
I will go back to the goal that we gave up, though, is that, you know, I tell players this all the time.
Now they won't be awarded the ball. Sorry, go ahead.
No, is that when that cross comes in, it's a 50-50 ball. And if their player is up and you're not, if you're flat-footed, it's showing a direct desire, a greater desire on their part to win it. If you go up at the same time equally, then at least it's equal desire. But the fact is, if you really want to win this game and break out of this, you got to be up first, skying for that, giving the opponent no chance to be a part of getting on the end of that ball. We were just flat-footed, so the greater desire has got to show up tonight.
It was Graham Smith, the other first-round draft pick by Sporting Kansas City, who got on the end of that service from the far corner stick by Felipe Hernandez, and played last season at Denver University after transferring over from Oregon State. So, you know, I like how this Swope Park Rangers team is built as the, so to speak, reserve side of Sporting Kansas City. They have first-round draft picks built in. They have academy players built in, very much taking advantage of the structure of the United Soccer League and using it to their advantage.
Yeah, I mean, you can't win games where everyone is a young player. They don't know how to beat opposing teams yet that have men and experienced players. It's the mix that makes sense, because that reinforces the confidence and the know-how of the young players by the lead of the senior players, and they're mixing it up very well. But I'll also say it's their structure. They've got a solid back four, an outstanding keeper, had save of the week, comes up big, a triangle in the midfield that gives you very little room to work. Brian's going to have to work out of that pocket in order to find time. But when you have three thoroughbreds up top, it's always going to be a team that's got a chance to win.
Bryant puts it out wide. Presley into the area. His bid defended out. It'll be San Antonio's second corner of the match. Swope is a team that will concede, though, Tim. They're 24th in the USL in goals against. They've given up 42 this season, so that's something to keep your eye on here, with a back four that has been juggled because of players going up and down. Džidić, though, is one of the best center backs in the USL. He makes his 74th appearance with the Rangers here tonight. Bryant now on the right stick. Now the outswinger, back tap there by Murphy, was looking in the direction of Felix, but did not connect. Bryant again, the service in, is headed out by Graham Smith. San Antonio FC back on the ball, down early here in the first quarter out of the match, 1-0 after the goal by Haji Berry, his 10th of the season in the 6th minute. He talked about I'm going to call them the killer bees up top. Berry Carlton Belmar, and Tyler Blackwood. The three of them have now combined for 23 goals of Swope Park Rangers' 35 on the season.
I like the way Blackwell targets because he'll back up into the center back of San Antonio. And when you play a ball into his feet, he's just not knocking it back. He'll slip passes between defenders to have his wingers start to break. So he's almost a playmaker out of that position. And I think when you start getting Belmar in an isolated one-on-one, you'll start to see his crossover moves, very dynamic looking and very dangerous, getting to the end line and cutting balls back for late runners in the box.
Great build-up out of the back for San Antonio. Darnell King was off to the races, but they met a wall at the top of the 18-yard box and are now out of the perimeter as Presley's bid is defended out. San Antonio will get their third corner already here in the 12th minute.
I mean, certainly the statistics have worked very well for San Antonio. If you look at the Phoenix game, they had 6 corners to 2. It's a matter of getting into accurate areas, and the execution once you're in this position has just got to get a little bit better.
We've talked about this so often for San Antonio. Their build-up, you know, if the goal of scoring a goal and the build-up is, you know, tense of an action, here is a chance for Cyprian Hedrick tonight. There's Brian with a rebound try. It's defended out of the area. And 2 good looks for San Antonio. I was going to say, if scoring a goal is a 10-step process, San Antonio does 9 of those steps so well. It's always been that 10th step that has eluded them over the course of the season.
Well, it's about productivity. You know, it's about executing, and again, going back to the Phoenix game, you know, where their shooting was on goal only 20% of the time. It just needs to be better. And when it is better, the probability of getting goals becomes greater.
A great first save by Eric Dick, the rookie keeper. Gordon gives it a go. This one was a knuckler through the box that Kyle Murphy or Connor Presley could have gotten on the end of, but it eludes both and goes over the goal line.
Yeah. You know, the previous attack that we saw Dix, the goalkeeper, who got save of the week last week. We talk about playmakers coming up big. Didic, you know, with the follow-up, blocking that next shot. Those are big plays, and to win games, it's about playmaking, and this is what we need from our guys today.
This is a strike for Gomer. Look, it kind of spins there, and Murphy and Presley were both in the vicinity of that, but fortunately neither ends up getting on the end of that delivery into the area. San Antonio FC as a team just with 43% in terms of their accuracy on shots coming into tonight's match, as Hedrick is down in midfield here, a little slow to get back up, but coming into tonight's game, San Antonio in total 101 shots on target out of their 233 total shots. That 43% accuracy, Darren Powell would obviously like to see a little bit higher, make the keeper work, make him make a save. Cyprian Hedrick did clearly in the last possession.
Yeah, I think that players, when their confidence is shaken, which when you're not getting results, that's going to happen to confidence. You have a tendency just to strike the ball at goal. And our eyes are trained for targets. The keeper's a target. You have got to have the kind of confidence and composure that you're looking for corners. You're looking for the upper and lower corners, and that's what's going to test the keeper. But in doing that, you may miss. But you've got to take those risks in order to have it pay off.
On the reset, the courtesy ball back to Eric Dick, who is 2 wins, 3 draws, 3 losses in his 8 starts with Swope Park Rangers. They have gone to the USL Cup final in each of the last 2 seasons, both times coming out of the Western Conference as a number 4 seed. San Antonio, who is hanging on to that final playoff spot in the table right now by percentage points, and the fact that they have played 1 fewer game than Swope Park Rangers at this point. That being said, they're only 8 points out of being a number 5 spot right now in the table. So that bottom half of the table, as we looked at in the open, Coach, you know, it's very congested, and if San Antonio gets on another run, you know, they're right back kind of into the middle portion. So as we've seen often, it's the ebbs and flows over the course of the 34-game regular season.
Right, and as we get in this final third of the season, it's about what teams are going to suddenly gain momentum. And they get that ball rolling in the right direction, and that can come with 1 result that gets you started. And, you know, that can be the difference maker as to the teams that finally get into the playoffs. So momentum building is about results, and tonight is a crucial one for this team.
Smith comes back for the ball, and just to put it even in a more microscopic perspective here for tonight, should Swope win, I mean, this is a massive 3 points for two teams that are right on the periphery, so to speak, there of the tables. A win for Swope, they jump into 8, put San Antonio 2 points back. Bryant can't handle the pass. Back it comes to Eric Dick, the keeper. San Antonio FC going down early, and it's been something of a bit of a disturbing trend for San Antonio now, giving up opening goals early in the match. Happened a few times on the trip. Gave up a very early goal in Seattle. Gave up 3 goals in the first half the other night in Phoenix.
Yeah, giving up early goals can come down to leadership issues. You know, making sure the players are coming out of the locker room and on the opening whistle, you know, have their fists where they need them and ready to use them. And it can be somewhat a tactical plan when you're giving up early goals, is to maybe settle in and say the first 20 minutes we give up nothing, and let's lock that in so that becomes the foundation of the rest of the game. I feel at times watching the team that stronger leadership is needed in this group, because you do have so many young ones, and having players like Pekka, who has experience, are guys that are the ones that have got to step up. You can't put it all on Bryant. We're depending on him for playmaking, but as far as the emotional makeup of what this team is about, I think it needs to be a stronger effort there.
Rosenbeck, Akhmetsov with a foul. Akhmetsov, who was just added to the Swope Park Rangers roster here at the beginning of August. The hard challenge there on Mikey Lopez. Lopez and Pekka back in the 11, as we mentioned tonight, after serving 1-game suspension for yellow card accumulation. Lopez accumulating his 7th yellow card, and Pekka his 6th in the game the week prior in Portland. And funny for Pekka, he hadn't played in almost a month, but he had been sitting on, you know, card accumulation caution, and he picks up 1 in his first game back, and he ends up with a 1-game suspension out of it. Kind of a tough break, having not played so long.
Yeah, I feel the team really needs him to step up and finish the season strong. Because, you know, he can do it at both ends. He can be a builder and collective of defenders and help with the possession. He can be the guy whose main job is to find Bryant, so Bryant gets played in the game as often as possible. And then also to step forward and join Bryant, because he's got some playmaking ability himself.
You just saw Greg Cochran again wearing the armband tonight. Cochran tonight appearing in his 91st career game with San Antonio FC in all matches, so he's closing in on the century mark, be the first player to do so, and you figure he's going to appear in these final 10 games of the season, so he should hit that century mark in the final game of the year, assuming no injury, of course, and clearly that would not be a welcome sight if Cochran were to go down at this point of the season, when San Antonio needs all their horses healthy, and they're just about healthy. We saw only Cesar Elizondo and Rafa Castillo on the shelf right now with injuries. Well, they've got a healthy back end. They're pretty solid in the midfield now with Pekka back, and of course still trying to find some rhythm up front. Ever Guzman has come back stronger than ever, as he's now moved into a tie for second all-time in team history with 10 goals, 5 of them coming this season, 4 since he's returned from injury. Guzman's in the 18 tonight, but having played the full 90 on Wednesday, he's getting at least these opening minutes off tonight.
Well, you know, certainly schedule starts to play into the final third of the season. I mean, you've got Swope Park, a full week of preparation and rest, and we're coming out of 3 long road trips. I mean, you have to factor in the time zone differences and the climate differences and the airport sitting and waiting and the flights. It takes its toll. So
Bilyeu across with a service and just sent wide from Tyler Blackwood there on that right side.
But that's why it's important that San Antonio take advantage of their home crowd tonight and being back at home. It's a great advantage for them.
There's a look at the beard. Matt Cardoni, San Antonio native, played collegiately at Trinity. 25-year-old in his 4th season. And a bit of a roller coaster San Antonio career for him. Cardoni, who began as the backup keeper and then took over late in season 1 and then got injured himself after he started as the starting keeper in year 2. And that, of course, brought about the emergence of the reigning keeper of the year, Diego Restrepo. And now Cardoni is back in a backup role again tonight, but starting in what is Arguably the biggest match of the season to date for him.
It is, and nobody's got a better beard in the league than him.
No, they don't.
Maybe Matt Pickens up in Nashville, but Cardone is he's got a great one. And he's brave too. I mean, this heat, I mean, we've had 100-degree weather every single day for the last few weeks, and that can't feel cool.
Good segue into my weather forecast for tonight, Tim, which I always do in the first half. 96 degrees at kickoff. Humidity, though, is light tonight, 30%. 2 points in the 60s, so a little more comfortable out there. And, of course, as we're getting later into the summer, sun's going down a little bit earlier, and the shade, the sun tends to be gone early in the first half, as we've already seen here tonight, so it feels a lot more comfortable out on the pitch, and it'll only get better as we go here through these final 2 months of the season. There's a bad giveaway by Cardone. Haji Berry, though, couldn't take the ball back, and San Antonio catches a break. Cochran on the counterattack up the left flank as he gives it to Omar Gordon. Gordon heading back to his inside foot on the right side, and a whistle away from the ball.
Yeah, those kind of mental errors, those giveaways right at the top of your box that can lead in counterattack goals. It's not just how it affects the scoreline, it affects the confidence of the entire group. That if we're going to give balls away that easily, then everyone starts to play nervous. And so that's got to get cleaned up so that we can play out of the back easily.
I'll say that ball came up on Omar's hand there for a handball, so that'll give the possession back to Swope Park Rangers. These teams met earlier this season here at Toyota Field back on April the 7th. Very early in the season, was a 1-1 draw. This is the 8th time they meet all time in 3 years. San Antonio has just 1 win against Swope, 1 victory, 3 draws, 3 losses, and of the 3 all-time games that have been played here, including earlier this season, they have all been draws. Not only have they all been draws, they've all been either 0-0 or 1-1. So they've been tightly contested games. Neither team has put a crooked number up at Toyota Field. Swope's gotten the early goal, the early lead. On the goal from Haji Berry in the 6th minute to go ahead 1-0 on San Antonio here in the first half.
Well, and you know, the circumstances are a little bit different. When you're the traveling team, sometimes you'll go into a game like this and you just kind of sit in, be patient. The pressure is on the home team to win. And as the pressure builds on the home team as the game goes on, the home team is going to start taking more and more risks to win the game. And when they take that risk, the opportunities start to open, and a team that's patient can wait for that moment and capitalize late in the game. Both teams have attacked pretty well so far, I think. You know, it's been pretty well balanced, but you know, there's a lot more pressure on San Antonio tonight than Swope Park.
Which is amazing to say when you consider Swope hasn't almost won in 2 months.
True. And they're trying to take that A spot, too.
There's a foul on Darnell King and a yellow card on King, and that's number 10 on yellows this season on Darnell King. He leads the club for a San Antonio team, and this, Tim, has been a little bit odd for them. They come in tonight 2nd in yellow cards in the USL. That's their 61st this season.
Well, you know, that certainly shows an aggressive side. It shows a desire side that they want to get stuck in and win a ball, and sometimes it gets taken a little too far. Sometimes young referees are a little bit quick on the trigger, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it. You know, there usually is a fine that goes along with the yellow card or a red card. But I've always told our players that if you get a yellow card because you're trying to tackle or be aggressive or challenge, trying to compete, then we as a club will take care of it. If it's because you're talking to the referee in the wrong way or do something that's not very professional, then that's on you, and you'll take care of it. And we try and train the players to understand the difference there.
Akhmatov and Hernandez over the ball here. It's Akhmatov, he'll leave for Hernandez. Right-footed in-swinger, on goal, heading in. It's 2 for Swope Park Rangers here in the first half in the 25th minute. Amir Djinic, the captain, and Swope Park Rangers has doubled their lead, the first time a team has scored multiple goals here in San Antonio in this series.
Again, if you look at this, it's ball watching by the far post defender. He just lets the guy get separation. And, you know, as a defender, you've got to have your body into a man. You can be half of his height and still throw your body and get up first, but you've got to be close to him. And you let him go, separation, free header, and you don't miss those.
first goal for Amer Djidic. That's his 4th in his 74-match career with Swope Park Rangers. We mentioned him, one of the best center backs in all the USL, former All-USL first-team member back in 2016. Djidic, who's on a Major League Soccer contract with Kansas City, he's down here on loan. Leads the team in clearances with 95, but he comes up on the offensive end here to give the Rangers what might prove to be a very commanding 2-0 cushion here in San Antonio. And it's not often, Coach, we've seen the home side go down by multiple goals here at home over the last 3 years.
No, we've been very good at home defensively, and at this point, the team has just got to refine its focus. And you got 20 minutes to halftime. If fighting to get one back, and we've seen the team attack very fluidly and get shots off. So just stay focused on trying to get one back and go into the locker room to regroup.
Foul on Pekka, just a little bit too aggressive there on the attacking player, Juan Kazane. So San Antonio FC down 2. They have now given up 5 goals in the first half of their last 2 matches. And 2 more goals against, and again, not to make comparisons, but for a team last season that led the league in the fewest goals conceded, 24, they've now given up 30 goals here through their first 25 matches this year, with still 9 left in the season. A stark difference from where they were ago, both defensively and clearly from the table standpoint, where they were a top 2 club in the Western Conference for a majority of the year.
Well, you look at Restrepo last year, had maybe his career best year, his keeper of the year, so he was on. And you had Adekora, who was an outstanding center back. I mean, he was the best in the league, and that's why he's back up in Major League. So they had a couple of things going for him in the back that were preventing. But, it's not always just the back four. It's who's playing in front of the back four. How is your midfield functioning? Are you getting tackling and challenging and pressure with the midfield players? And I would say that in that area, that's got to greatly improve, because our defense is giving up too much, and it needs help. It needs collective help from the entire team.
Hernandez out wide. Coming quickly is Colton Storm, second-year wing back. They're along on the right side. Haji Berry, and look at the foul.
Put your hand down, Dick.
It's on Storm, and San Antonio will take over possession.
You got to love these battles when guys just are fighting for the ball. And that's the effort you need. You need it all over the park from every player for the rest of the game.
Just to continue the development theme, Colton Storm was Sporting Kansas City's first-round pick back in 2017. So they just continue to develop good players. And Sporting Kansas City's having a heck of a year in Major League Soccer, going for their 4th consecutive win tonight. And they've got a club that has gone to the USL Cup finals now in each of the last 2 seasons. So really putting together a nice hierarchy, and they've finally seen the fruits of not only this club, but their academy in promoting a guy to the first side. Juan Kazane, Juan Kamal, is the first player to go through all 3 levels of the Kansas City organization, the academy, the Rangers, and Kamal has now played 6 times with the first side Sporting Kansas City this year.
Yeah, I give entire credit to Peter Vermees, the head coach of Sporting Kansas City. He was a former player in the league, first as a defender, became a striker, vice versa in his career. Played with Colorado, played with Kansas City. He is one of the most fierce competitors that I've known in the game. And he demands greatness from everyone at every level. And so you see it from all layers of their development system, and always with their first team, that you're in for a dogfight. And he just insists on it. And if you don't buy into that, then you're not going to find yourself in a Kansas City jersey anymore.
You just saw Paulo Nagamura again. He's the first-year head coach. He was an assistant last season, and he was only 2 years removed from his playing career, retired at the end of 2016 as a member of Sporting Kansas City that wrapped up a 12-year Major League Soccer career. It saw him win 2 MLS Cup championships, 3 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open titles, 240 starts and 269 appearances for Nagamura. So he had a really fruitful Major League Soccer career.
He did, and I think a lot of these coaches are being selected based on the way they played, meaning their philosophy of how they see the game. And there's something in Nagamura's game as a professional player that I think Peter Vermees, the head coach of Kansas City, wants to have that spill into this group of developing players. Another guy on the bench down there, Chris Martinez, was a former player of mine with Colorado Rapids. Very big, strong defender and outstanding character. So he puts the right people around these young players, and he's certainly proving that his system is working.
If you're noticing, Swope Park Rangers playing a lot with the ball tonight. That's their forte. They're one of the best possession teams in the USL, 57%. And in the last meeting between these two sides, Coach, they were 61% in the possession here at Toyota Field in that 1-1 draw back on April the 7th. So that they play well with the ball. They play well with the ball with a purpose. And it certainly proved fruitful for them here in the first half with 2 goals on the board.
Yeah, you know, it's such a big topic around the world, possession. You know, everyone fell in love with Spain and Barcelona, and they never give the ball away, and so everyone feels like the solution for results is be a great possession team. But possession gets divided into, are you just playing it around the back and keeping the ball, or are you actually able to penetrate past opposing players and create goal-scoring chances? And that's the productive type of possession, and I think Sporting is showing very good at that tonight.
One Kazin, one Kamal. A little up high there with a cleat, but it'll be a throw in for San Antonio here as we cross into the 33rd minute. There's Ethan Bryant. We'll hear more from him coming up at halftime. Bryant just turned 17 on Monday and has found himself in a very significant role for San Antonio, playing in the number 10 spot of Darren Powell's starting 11. He's got 2 assists in 5 starts, this being his 6th of the season, and the first product out of the San Antonio FC Academy, which just made a very big hire over this past week. Alan Messina, the former San Antonio Scorpions coach, who'd been with the Des Moines Menace, coming back to run things at the Academy, along with Nick Evans, and Ryan Rashandel, of course, works at the Academy too. So welcome back to San Antonio for Alan Messina.
Yeah, Alan was my assistant when I was coaching the San Antonio Scorpions, and he did very well as a head coach in the NASL and with Des Moines this summer. He's a bit of a specialist when it comes to developing explosive technical players, and therefore he'll do very well with the young players of the Academy, giving them the base they need to develop as players.
Andy Thompson had been an assistant with San Antonio FC. Him and the club parting ways as Andy pursues new opportunities in soccer. He's going to remain on as an advisor with the club through the remainder of the season. So a little bit shake-up as well, not only on the field but also off the field for San Antonio as they move through their 3rd season of USL play, coming off last year's record-breaking campaign and trying to get themselves back into the postseason for a 2nd consecutive year.
Well, you know, I've often said that if they were ever going to, you know, some people call it soccer, other people call it football. I want to change the name of the game to cambio, because that's a Spanish word for change. And it's always changing on the field. It's changing in the locker room, whether it's coaching staff or player roster. It's a game that's always evolving. And if you can stay up with that and always be ahead of that learning curve, you're going to be very successful.
Storm out wide. Akhmatov concedes possession. Juan Kazando back on the ball, and he concedes back to the former Sporting Kansas City draft pick, Mikey Lopez, but Lopez unable to stay with possession here as it comes back through the middle of the field. This will be off of Carlton Belmar, or Haji Barry rather, and it'll be a throw-in for San Antonio.
You know, I always love to see the development of a young player like Bryant. I had a player that I picked up at 19 years old in Major League who was with the national youth team, a guy named Kyle Beckerman, who's been captain of Real Salt Lake, won a championship, played for the national team at defensive midfielder. And the style that they have in their game, the tempo of their play, of their engine running, is so similar. I mean, obviously, Kyle is a very experienced, one of the best players in Major League, and Bryant's just starting out, but the similarities are tremendous, and I can just see his development moving in the same direction.
The ball back to the keeper, Eric Dick, as Cardone let it fly, and we talked about the evolution of the game, starting to see more of those deep vertical balls trying to get upfield. You were talking about possession before, about what you do with that possession. You see more teams just trying to win those 50-50 balls because it gets them in the attacking third. Speaking of the attacking third, is Haji Barry cutting into the area, Cochran collapsing, back into the top of the box. Akhmatov goes down, but we play on. San Antonio will send it back upfield.
I think that, again, going back to possession, there is a term being looked at in Europe these days called packing. And it is possession, but they are judging the quality of the possession based on how many times each pass bypasses an opposing player. Whether it's on the dribble, whether it's on the pass, it might put the ball past one defender, it might put it past three. I think the thing you have to be careful of it not becoming a long ball game. But the understanding of the packing concept is very valuable because that's productive possession that helps create goal scoring opportunities.
Cochran out wide here into the 37th minute. San Antonio FC falling down by 2 goals here in the first half. And a good ball upfield as Omar Gordon will get on the end of it down by the left corner stick. Attacking on the right back Colton Storm. Gordon service across and just over the head of Mikey Lopez there on the back post.
Pretty good one-on-one play.
And again, Omar Gordon moving over to the left side tonight. He's primarily been on the right wing for most of the season, switching spots with Connor Presley. San Antonio trying to throw a new formation out. There's a great ball here from Haji Berry into the area. Blackwood with the service across, and defended out there. Coming back from Greg Cochran in a corner, the second of the night coming up for Swope Park Rangers. And it was Akhmatov, rather. We got that service in, not Blackwood, in on the right side.
You know, just 5-6 minutes before halftime, again, giving up early goals. Very concerned about late goals just before halftime. This is where there's got to be, Cardone's got to be giving urgency. There's got to be voices. There's got to be bodies into bodies. Never letting a player out of your arm's reach.
Another good ball into the box there from Hernandez. Strike back out from the top of the 18. Is just wide of frame. Carlton Belmar getting on the final touch of that one. They have only... They haven't had that many set pieces tonight, Coach, but they have executed on every single one of them tonight.
I can guarantee you if we go in freeze frame, you're going to see, even on this one, like the ones before, is their player goes up and we're flat-footed. We've got to get up first and into their body to challenge.
Final minutes of this first half. San Antonio really in desperate need of a spark or some infusion here. This will go for a goal kick. Sign up to play like the pros, presented by Toyota. You'll be entered to win a chance to participate in Toyota Field Day with San Antonio FC players and coaches. Visit ToyotaFieldDay.com to enter. Along with the coach, Tim Hankinson, Anya Rosales down on the field, and our entire Fox Sports Southwest crew. I'm Dan Weiss. Great to have you along from Toyota Field here this evening. Just 4 home games left of the regular season for San Antonio, currently occupying that final playoff spot of the Western Conference table, but tied in points with tonight's opponents, Swope Park Rangers, 34 apiece. But it's the visitors that have jumped out to the 2-goal lead here in the opening half, thanks to goals from Haji Berry, the striker up top with his 10th of the season, and the captain, Amir Djidic, the defender, getting his first goal of the year. And the goals for Swope coming in the 6th minute tonight for Berry, and for Djidic in the 25th minute. Both off set pieces.
Yeah, and set pieces are a hard way to give up goals because, I mean, let's face it, you've actually got a moment of time to organize. You're getting everyone back on your team to find their marks that the coaches have scouted and matched up properly to make sure that we don't have a mismatch in height or otherwise. And to let them up that way when you have all that preparation and time is very discouraging.
Ryan Felix, we mentioned, back in the starting 11 for the first time in 2 months. Last start for him was against 1868 back on June 23rd here at Toyota Field. Gordon using that speed, getting to the ball. Right on top of them here and able to win it away. As Gordon was arguing for the foul as Smith came back up with the ball. Gordon thought there was enough contact to earn him and San Antonio a free kick there.
I think I'd agree with him on that one.
Graham Smith, a big center back, 6'3", 185 pounds, from Highland Ranch, Colorado. He was the one who ran down Gordon there with a contact. First-year player, as we mentioned. First-round draft choice by Kansas City in this past Major League Soccer Super Draft. Here's Barry trying to play with Akhmatova, the two-man game. It's off San Antonio to throw in here for Swope Park Rangers. You can see the frustration, coach, for San Antonio here as this first half comes to a close. They know they're a better side than what the results have shown here over these past 3 games in 41 minutes. But it's a results-oriented business, coach, and the results just have not gone their way to this point.
Well, and again, it's just giving up too many goals. You put yourself in a hole game after game. And the fact is, most of the mistakes are mistakes we've seen in the previous 3 games. And I know that the coaches are working on correction, but players have got to embrace that and have the discipline to make sure that they don't repeat mistakes. Otherwise, it shows they're not learning. So hopefully, you know, they'll get better at that in the coming matches. And tonight, you know, like I said, all it takes is 1 goal and we're back in it.
It's a foul on San Antonio. Darnell King's got to be careful. He's sitting on a yellow card already as he takes out the legs of Carlton Belmar. And a dangerous spot for a free kick here for Rangers here in the 43rd minute. And again, King, who got that yellow card back at the 24th minute, he's got to be careful.
Hey, Dick, I didn't know y'all had Neymar on your team.
He talked about Blackwood, coach. Really nice ball on the outside of his foot there, setting up Belmar and putting Darnell King in a vulnerable position. And now here, again, not a lot of set pieces for Swope Park Rangers here in the first half, but they've executed on just about every one as they mark off the 10 yards. And here we go late in the first half. The Rangers looking for a 3rd goal.
These are a vital couple of minutes to get through. Again, just at this point, getting into the locker room where coaches can work with their players on their second half plan. And the second half plan, if you're 2-0 down, is going to be tough because you're going to have to come out and take risks. You're going to have to pressure. You're a tired team from Wednesday against a fresh team, and it can tend to leave the door open for a late counterattack. So, but you've really got no choice. You've put yourself in a position where you've got to come out and look to get back in the game.
It's Hernandez, just over goal. Felipe Hernandez, 2 goals on the season. Giving that one a strike, and was very close, in fact. San Antonio dodges the bullet here late in the first half. 3 really good midfielders, though, between Hernandez, Juan Kazane, Juan Kamal, and the newly acquired Rosenbeck Akhmatov. They've really dictated the play here in the first half, and really leaving the, of course, scoring setting up there by the Killer Bees up top, Barry, Belmar, and Blackwood.
Well, they've attacked well. Not all the attacks have been so direct to scoring opportunities, but the attacks have put them in a situation where they get corner kicks, they get free kicks, and they're capitalizing on that.
Golden Storm settles Justin Bilyeu. He spent last season in Rio Grande Valley after originally a first-round draft pick himself in Major League Soccer with the New York Red Bulls. Crafty left back Bilyeu as he sends it upfield. Good touch, although San Antonio not on the end of it, but defended it over touch. And a throw in here in the closing moments of the first half. Swope Park Rangers will be thrilled to go to half up 2 on the road as they look for as much of a spark themselves as does San Antonio. Just 1 minute of added time will be drawn up here at the end of the first 45 minutes.
San Antonio is starting to do a good job closing down this side of the field. It's about getting pressure to the ball, challenging, forcing the play back, chasing it back. Just don't give them a clean look at the penalty area.
Barry out wide there on the left side with Belmar. San Antonio will take possession and will earn themselves a free kick after the foul. Darnell King tonight appearing in his 179th career match. 23rd start with San Antonio FC. He's the only player that has started every single match that he has played, and no player has played in all 25 matches to this point this year.
Yeah, he's been a great pro. Been with a number of clubs, and I know San Antonio's lucky to have him.
It'll be a goal kick, but it'll be halftime, as San Antonio gives up 2 goals in the first half and is down 2-0 to Swope Park Rangers after 45 minutes. Let's send it down to the field. Anya Rosales is with San Antonio FC head coach Darren Powell.
Thanks, Dan. Coach, not quite the score you want to see going into half. What improvements need to be made in the second half?
I think defensively, you look at the 2 goals they've scored from set pieces, so that's very, very disappointing. So obviously to turn this around now, we've got to obviously try and get on the front foot and make sure we do better when we have possession of the ball as well. So both sides of it we have to improve, and we'll go and talk about it in that locker room right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Back up to you guys.
Thanks, Anya. It's 2-0. San Antonio FC down to Swope Park Rangers at halftime. San Antonio FC Soccer on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Toyota. Go to buyatoyota.com or visit your local Toyota dealer today.
This bud's for the dream and the people bold enough to pursue it. For those who come from nothing and rise to something. It's for those who take everything this country has to offer and make it their own.
This is your HEB Back to School Report.
I'm Mason. And I'm Maddie. This year, it's all about sparkles. And sporty backpacks. Let's check in with Sophie from the hall.
I'm seeing a lot of sequins, but also a lot of sporty options like Nike and JanSport. But sparkles are everywhere. It's like a disco in here.
Ooh. I love sparkles. Really? Go back to school with HEB. A better year starts here.
Providing the fuel to take you there, no matter where there is. Top-tier quality fuels from Valero keep your engine running cleaner, better, and longer.
I was born from the bottom, but raised to the top. I was born from the bottom, but raised to the top. I was born from the bottom, but raised to the top. I'ma keep on climbing, I ain't gonna stop. I was born from the bottom, but raised to the top. I was born from the bottom, but raised to the top. I was born from the bottom, but raised to the top. I'ma keep on climbing, I ain't gonna stop.
Thomasina Molson looking for number 14. There it is.
Cross comes in towards the back post, and Foster Langsdorff has his 11th goal this season.
The corner of the 18, cross comes in, and a goal for Foster Langsdorff. It's his second of the evening.
Into the box, a strike, and a goal. Christian Valesky. Guess who? Again, Valesky with his second.
Slides it across, Michael Seaton. Seaton in on goal, Michael Seaton, he's at the brace.
Ledesma right at the edge of the 18, takes a shot, and Manu Ledesma does it again!
Now Spees gives it a go, and Spees finds the back of the net. Game of one-upsmanship from the Indy 11 this season.
Rebound comes out, though, and it's stuck right back in. And guess who? Solomon Asante. Chance now for St. Louis. Long overdue goal for Corey Herzog. Here's Carl Howarth, and the shot, and it is 1-0 Ottawa Fury FC.
Grisette Lazane to strike. It hits the frame of the goal and goes in. Laid off to the path of Barry. He's onside, and he fires it home.
It'll be Gordon to strike with his right boot, hits it, and puts it in the back of the net.
To Velasquez. He'll take a crack through distance, and a goal! Chandler Hoffman redirects it for the goal.
Here's another opportunity. Dixon shot and a score.
Back to Corbin Bone. Bone inside of the 18. Buries it in the back of the net.
Still Belmar. Now into the area, Carlson Belmar. Losing his defender, Belmar. Surely, Blackwood gets the goal.
Great save by Kendall McIntosh.
Shot getting a piece of it.
What a save!
Great stop by Dykstra.
Oh, what a save by Vaughn Williams.
Cardoni with an impressive save.
A brilliant save.
Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino Hotel invites you to come and play. Over 3,300 of your favorite slots, a private poker room, bingo, and live entertainment every weekend. Join the Players Club and play your way to greater rewards.
Come and play.
It all started with a vision and a mission to put customers first and treat employees with respect. Now, for more than 40 years, we have grown to serve people, businesses, and lenders, all while giving back to the communities where we live and work. For us, business as usual is about making a lasting impression on the lives of our customers, employees, and communities. We invite you to learn more about how we can help you with your story. SWBC.
Thanks. It's like a smart thing. What's the weather?
Sunny. Perfect chicken eating weather.
How'd you get in here?
It's time for chicken.
What's the traffic like?
Rerouting you to chicken.
Okay. Hey, Calzo, order pizza.
Ordering chicken.
No, pizza.
Chicken.
Okay, chicken it is.
Chicken biscuits made fresh daily for breakfast.
Now that's smart.
Hi, sports fans. I'm Jeff Davis, the San Antonio lawyer that's here for you. Some of you might be watching this game injured after a terrible accident. Did you suffer broken bones or have to have surgery? I want you to know that Davis Law Firm is here for you. And if you call us and you need us, we'll come to you during this game. And then we'll fight for justice and demand the cash settlement you deserve. Call me at 444-4444. That's 444-4444. Now, before we go back to the game, don't forget, there's only one number to remember, and that's 4.
Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino Hotel invites you to come and play. Over 3,300 of your favorite slots, a private poker room, bingo, and live entertainment every weekend. Join the Players Club and play your way to greater rewards.
Come and play.
I'm Dan Weiss. Great to have you with us. Tough first 45 minutes for the home side. Coach San Antonio FC goes down 1 in the opening minutes of the game, then gives up a second. You heard from Darren Powell, disappointed in both goals coming off of set pieces.
Yeah, and I think Darren is disappointed with both sides of the ball. I mean, they're making so many of the same mistakes they made in the last 3 games on the road. Ball watching, not being tight in your marks, not getting up and challenging, not clearing. These are things that are going to lead to goals. But at the other end, it's the possession is not anywhere near close to Swope Park, and you're not going to create the chances that you need to create in order to get into the game.
Here's a look at the numbers, and they're all favoring Swope, as you'd expect in a 2-0 lead for them. But how about, San Antonio, 5 shots, but only 1 on target. That was that Hedrick chance that was denied. And the possession is identical to what it was the first time these teams met back on April the 7th, with Swope having 61%, San Antonio at 39%. How does San Antonio flip that number in their direction in the second half?
It's really putting more players around the ball. Brandt stays very high, which I'm sure he needs to in order to play make. But at this point, he's got to come back and get on the ball. Pekka and Lopez have got to increase their work rate to be on the ball more often, and to make sure we start this half with very good possession. That's going to help build the confidence in the team, and that's going to help get you forward. And it's not about creating 10 chances. It's just the chances you create, be more accurate in your shooting, and that percentage has got to go up if we expect to get back in the game.
You can't get 2 right off the bat. You get 1 first and then add on. Our halftime will continue from Toyota Field. San Antonio FC down 2-0 to Swope Park Rangers here on Fox Sports Southwest.
Here come the last of our 2018s.
Toyota's national clearance event is the best part of summer.
And with super low APR financing and great lease deals, it won't last long.
Oh, I'm so excited.
You are not alone.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mwah! Yes!
But my job.
Right now, qualified buyers get 0% APR financing for 60 months, plus a $2,000 special edition bonus on a new 2018 Tundra Crewmax Special Edition.
Save on the last of the 2018s. Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
This bud's for the dream and the people bold enough to pursue it. For those who come from nothing and rise to something. It's for those who take everything this country has to offer and make it their own.
Corner stores are proudly becoming Circle K, home of the Polar Pop Cup. That's right, you can enjoy any size Polar Pop Cup filled to the brim with your favorite flavor for just 79 cents at any corner store. Nothing stays cold longer, and the Polar Pop Cup is the best way to quench your thirst. Stay refreshed all day long for just 79 cents. Corner store, proudly becoming Circle K.
Back at halftime, San Antonio FC down 2 to Swope Park Rangers on Fox Sports Southwest. It's another busy night around the rest of the United Soccer League as we take a look at scores from across the Western Conference. Most of the games get underway later tonight. At the half, St. Louis on top at home over Tulsa by a score of 2-1. You see Orange County and Rio Grande Valley. Good matchup coming up later on tonight in Sacramento as they'll take on 1868 in a rivalry game. That'll be a dandy at Papa Murphy's Park in Sacramento. Phoenix in Colorado, Real Monarchs SLC. Still at the top of the table in the Western Conference, tied with Orange County with 50 points. And both those sides, as you see, will play tonight. We'll take a break. Second half coming up after these messages. San Antonio trying to get back into form here. Down 2 to Swope Park Rangers. Start of the second half here at Toyota Field. You see Matt Cardoni. San Antonio FC, they need a little bit of a push here, down 2 goals in the second 45 minutes as we're about to get going. San Antonio again in their black kits tonight, trimmed in red and white. Swope in their away white kits, trimmed in orange. And coming in tonight, San Antonio winless in their last 3, all losses. Swope Park Rangers winless in their last 8. Have not won since July the 5th, but they're up 2 here in San Antonio. And they've only lost to San Antonio has Swope Park Rangers once in the all-time history of the series. So they've got odds on their side, and they've got the scoreline on their side here as we begin things in the second half. Along with the coach, Tim Hankinson, Anya Rosales down to the field, and our entire Fox Sports Southwest crew. I'm Dan Weiss. Thanks for tagging along on your Saturday night in this final Saturday in the month of August as the summer starts to wind down in most places except around San Antonio, where the summer will, I'm sure, continue on for at least another 4 to 5 weeks, temperature-wise. It's Colton Storm getting forward here on the right side. Good ball, top of the area. Slipped in. Here's Belmar. Great save by Cardoni as he got a left hand on that attempt from Carlton Belmar, looking to match Haji Berry with the team lead in scoring. San Antonio dodges an early second half bullet.
Yeah, I wanted to say that, you know, these first 5 minutes are crucial not to give up anything. And we talked about players. Someone's got to step up and start playing big and make the plays. And Cardone did an outstanding job there. That could have easily been a goal.
Cardoni had the save of the week in the USL 2 weeks ago. Or actually, it was Dick's save that just edged out Cardoni's save. That was a week and a half ago in Portland. That was the one, of course, that Cardoni skied high on over the bar at the end of the first half as we've got a collision at right in the middle of the field. Felipe Hernandez and Pekka colliding.
It's always an interesting scenario when you come out of the locker room 2 goals down, because you want to get it all back right away, and you can't. And so you have to be patient. You have to stick to your game plan, but look for more opportunities, triggers to step up and press and try and force turnovers closer to their goal. Clean up the defensive mistakes, but also start building your possession so the confidence builds back up that you can get from one area of the field to the other. That's
Akhmatov, not Hernandez, who's down on the field for Swope Park Rangers here early in the second half. And that's you talk about somebody stepping up for San Antonio. I mean, that could be a momentum changing save right there, because you're right, you go down 3 early in the half. I mean, it becomes almost impossible.
Yeah. And again, you know, the holes that the club has been creating for itself have been through defensive mistakes. So to come up with a big defensive stand like that, again, everyone's confidence starts going sky high. If he can make that save, if he can make that play, so can I, and that's what everyone has to start believing.
Well, after the foul, as Akhmatov comes out along with Pekka here for the reset. They'll both be allowed back on momentarily. Belmar trying to return it back to Bilyeu. Instead, it's Darnell King for San Antonio. Pekka and Akhmatov let back on. San Antonio. Cochran pushing forward to the attacking third with Mikey Lopez. Pekka, little daylight. Gordon. Back to Pekka. They'll switch the play across to Connor Presley. Trying to keep it alive. Cannot. They're trying to utilize, of course, Omar Gordon as much as possible on the left side tonight. They're trying to run on that right back, Colton Storm, and just, Coach, they haven't had as much luck as I'm sure Darren Powell would have hoped they would have here over the course of this match tonight.
Well, you know, the fans who are watching these games on a regular basis, they look at a player like Darnell King, the right back, who typically has been flying up and down the right sideline. He becomes the winger. And because you have Belmar, who's also a pacey one-on-one player, it looks like Darnell is more worried about staying and defending him rather than making Belmar chase him a bit. And if Darnell can get up and play in that wing, it'll give that support system to our wing midfielder and much better effective play up there.
King leads the team, 5 assists on the season. He gets up here for the throw-in along with Connor Presley and Mikey Lopez. There's Pekka shrugging off the defender as he comes into the area, slips it to the top of the 6, defended right back out. Presley will take it in his left foot, curls out to the top, hands back to Cochran, swings it across Gordon, return ball Ethan Bryant. Back to Cochran as San Antonio tries to display a little bit of patience here, getting a good build-up on this possession after the throw-in. And we talked about trying to switch that possession number here in the second half, Coach, and patience so key as well. As you've got to be smart with the ball, not only to attack and play with the ball, but just to have the ball too.
Well, to keep possession, you have to work hard. It's not something that comes easy. You have to be active.
Gordon, as he gives it a go, defended out, and this will result in the corner for San Antonio.
You have to get out and find space. You have to read your teammate with the ball, to know when to check, when to support him, and always be looking for the pass beyond that. I think
offside flag up there on San Antonio. Kind of a mental gaff right there on the corner.
Yeah, I think too many players, they wait to get the ball at their feet, and then they start looking around for their next option. You've got to be thinking ahead of the play so the play can progress and move the ball with speed.
San Antonio, throughout their first 24 games this season, has not recovered from a 2-goal deficit to earn a result. In fact, the only game where they've won where they've given up multiple goals was back in the recent 4-game winning streak that got started with their 4-2 victory over Real Monarchs SLC, which at the time was probably their statement win of the season, beating the top team in the table. But I often say when history is not on their side, it's a night to make some history. Right. Hopefully that'll be the case here for San Antonio in the second half.
You got to believe. You always have to believe. And as we know, nothing solves problems faster than getting that first goal. And then again, confidence locks in and everyone starts to believe it's possible.
Pekka will take the free kick for San Antonio here as we cross into the 53rd minute. Starting 11 stay the same at halftime. San Antonio down 2 goals. The best ball pushed forward here as it's taken back by Rangers as they'll play quickly forward as Blackwood will get to the end of it here as he shrugs off Hedrick to the corner stick. Hedrick knocks it out. Does it go off Blackwood or does it go off Hedrick? And they're going to say it goes off Blackwood for a goal kick.
Now with Cochran advancing the play on that side, this is where Daryl King has got to start thinking attack. You know, in the game, it's one-on-one matchups all over the field. And it's a little bit like, who's going to pull the trigger first? Am I going to worry about you or are you going to worry about me? And King has got to give something that Belmar has to worry about and bring his game the other way. You've got to take that risk at this point in the game.
Numbers for San Antonio. Cochran into the area. Cochran slips it off of Kyle Murphy, who was right there at the top of the 6-yard box. King steps up, creating the turnover. Down to the finish. And San Antonio's got the first. They're on the board. It's 2-1 here in the 54th minute.
That's what we're talking about. Brilliant stuff by King to finally get forward. And now he's got Belmar in the pocket because Belmar's going to be thinking, now I've got to chase back and defend it.
You nailed it, Coach. Darnell King needed to get forward. Great anticipation here. And what a finish. Second goal of the season for Darnell King. San Antonio with a little bit of life here early in the second half. We mentioned Swope Park Rangers sitting at the bottom of the USL in terms of goals conceded. That's the 43rd they've allowed this season. So they're prone to giving up goals. San Antonio is not out of it, not certainly by a long shot.
I was glad to see San Antonio instinctively press them right away off the kickoff. You know, you get a goal like that, it shakes the opponent. That's when they're weakest. Get right back after them.
And depending on how this game unfolds here in the second half, again, you've got to go back to that save by Matt Cardoni on Carlton Belmar to open things in the second half, which could have made it a 3-0 score line in favor of the visitors. As Eric Dick Struggling a little bit with Kyle Murphy coming forward, but he's able to get rid of it, sending it out wide. Graham Smith upfield.
I agree with you. His Cardona save really is a game changer at that point, and that lifts everyone's confidence. And here's a defender who now says, I can go forward because look at the save he just made. I'm going to go contribute the other way, and King certainly did, getting us back in this game.
Good touch by Ethan Bryant. Mikey Lopez playing out for Connor Presley. Will keep it alive at the touch line. Good hustle. Presley service into the back post. Murphy can't get on the end of it, and it'll result in the corner for San Antonio. Either fit for the match.
Just a tremendous effort. Great cross.
Well, the applause you hear down on near the front of the San Antonio FC bench is because the newcomer Lance Lang is getting ready to come on for the first time since joining the club. Lang, of course, who was brought on earlier this week on loan from FC Cincinnati, will come on here in replace of Ethan Bryant in the 56th minute.
Yeah, and Lang is a Jamaican national player, has great experience. He's played with Tampa, Edmonton, Minnesota United. Dynamic winger and a tremendous free kick. We don't know where his fitness is at this point, but this is a great time to inject him and give the opponent something new to worry about.
30-year-old from Trelawney Parish, Jamaica. He has not played in a month since an exhibition. As this ball got over Eric Dick, and a chance that Ryan Felix sends off the defender. Should be another corner for San Antonio, and it will be. San Antonio arguing for a handball inside the box here. Let's take a look, Coach. Hard to tell from that angle. Corner number 6 coming up here for San Antonio. Swing delivery off. Lance Lang gets his first touch here, and then this ball is driven out. Mentioned Lance Lang, he hasn't played in a month. He hasn't played in a USL match. This is his first one since May the 26th. So it's going on 3 months for Lance Lang since he's appeared in a USL match, but with San Antonio in need of an offensive injection, he gets the call here early in the second half in the 56th minute.
Yeah, but Lance is a good professional. Very, very experienced, very dangerous. Just like that run he made, that opened up things for that shot. So he's going to contribute, whether he's played games recently or not.
Nice little back touch. King just over the frame. A combination play with Mikey Lopez just outside the 18-yard box.
And we also see Lang going to his natural left side. He is a lefty. And Omar's come to the right side. So that's a great compliment. Great pace on either side of the park for us.
Got to use 2 hands up there, fella, sitting on the ramp. Felix concedes. Sent out upfield on the right side by Haji Berry. 58 minutes, San Antonio getting on the board first in the second half. Darnell King second of the year in the 54th minute to make it 2-1. San Antonio does have one come from behind victory this season. That was all the way back on June the 2nd against Portland. They trailed 1-0 going into the second half, got 2 late goals, including the last one from Alex Bruce in stoppage time to give him the 2-1 victory. Lopez collapses on the ball, sends it away. Looked like it definitely went off the hand there of Colton Storm, but the handball wasn't called. Aaron Powell and Darnell King couldn't believe it out on the field. It'll be a throw in here for San Antonio.
You could see how that play developed. They switched the ball over to Lang, and he made things happen. So he'll read the moment and find gaps, and I think he's going to make a great contribution for this club the rest of the way.
It was actually a throw in for Swope, but they get possession up. Kyle Murphy, the flag's up for the offside. Momentum's a funny thing in sports, Coach, and right now the home side's got it. They really do here, as they have certainly seen the possession swing in their favor. They've made life a little bit more difficult there for that back four for Swope Park Rangers here after 1 hour of play.
Right, and as you've mentioned, Swope has given up goals. I mean, they're not a perfect team defensively, But you also think about what Swope is starting to go through. They have a 2-0 lead. Now it's a 1-goal lead. And do we keep attacking and try to build on our lead, or do we sit back a little bit, just trying to not give things up, which is maybe with this amount of time left, it's too early to sit back for Swope Park.
And again, for a team that they have not won in their last 8 matches, that has to be in their head too after giving up that opening goal the second half. I agree with you. I don't think they can afford to sit back. I think San Antonio's got too many weapons. That ball goes off the hand for sure of Felipe Hernandez, but they play the advantage for San Antonio. Scored it in the box. Can't shrug off as the contact comes in, and then this will go off Gord. It'll be a throw in here for Swope Park Rangers.
Yeah, if you've got 15 minutes left in the game, then you can take a more defensive posture. But you've still got to keep playing at this point. And remember, you are the fresher team. You should be able to keep, your possession going and building attacks.
Be a foul on Rangers. San Antonio with a free kick. Half hour left of the match. San Antonio down 1. Darnell King past the outstretched keeper Eric Dick after the giveaway.
It's good to see King take the initiative, say this is my ball, this is the service that I want. Again, he's a great free kick. This is not one he's putting on goal, but he's a great left-footed free kick specialist.
Lang over ball. Service in, knuckled at the top of the area. Presley settles. Lopez getting a goal, was blocked out. Lang will step back up with the ball and he'll prevent it from going over the touchline. Turns back. Lang. Oh, wicked ball and a good save from Eric Dick. As that one had some bend on the strike from Lance Lang there, and it's Mikey Lopez. Looked like he was trying to attack on the rebound, who's down inside the area now. I had the keeper moving the wrong way. And a nice recovery from the 23-year-old Eric Dick.
Again, you can see his experience, trying to put a little bit of a cut, sell it to the far post, but cutting it towards the near post, confusing the keeper. He's going to make a contribution. I had to coach against him many times, and so I know what he's capable of, and he's not fun to play against. So San Antonio, this is a great pickup.
Nice win on the challenge from Omar Gordon. San Antonio back in possession of the ball. Send it out wide to the left side. Lang's delivery intended for Mikey Lopez is intercepted. Well, for a guy who hasn't played a lot, he's running hard. He's pretty fresh, I guess.
Running across to defend the other side of the field.
Cyprian Hedrick will get back to it here. Deep in his attacking third. His defensive third, rather.
Well, that energy is always going to be there when you're trying to play your first minutes for your new club in front of your new fans, is wanting to impact things, wanting to make a difference.
He asked Cincinnati for a trade back in July when it became apparent he wasn't going to see a lot of the field for the rest of the season. Blackwood in the area, defended well there from Darnell King. Hedrick brought down as he clears it upfield. And it's Billy who will get under it for Carlton Belmar now. Belmar cuts wide around King, back into the area. King did a nice job to keep it to the outside. Darnell, he's got to be careful. He's sitting on a yellow card here in the second half.
Great job.
Aggressive, but can't be overly aggressive, but a good job nonetheless.
Yeah, he does have the card, so he has to play smart. But, I mean, he was so aggressive to play tight, to get low, to not let him turn and face the goal. Great job chasing him back. That's how everyone has to do the job in the back four when they get in these one-on-one situations.
Felipe Hernandez, Gordon, got him from behind, but the ball came through to the top of the area, but unable to push forward there was Blackwood. Now San Antonio on the counter. Lang gets a tag. It should be a card as he was caught going upfield, and it will be a yellow. Lance Lang making a pretty good impact here in his first minutes of the match, and this card comes up with the Rangers in the 65th minute. was Colton Storm who got him with a tug of the jersey there.
Well, and you can see he's got pace, but he's strong. He is a strong physical player, and he's not looking to go down easy. He's looking to get past you.
Listen, at 6 foot, 185 pounds. So Storm and King now both sitting on yellows here, one aside of the match. San Antonio has flipped the script here in the second half, getting on the board early with a goal from Darnell King, now trying to equalize here. 25 minutes or so remaining. Play short to Cochran. Cochran back to Lang on the overlapping run left side. Lang with a deep ball here. Hedrick and Gordon. It's Gordon gets under it, sending it back out of the top of the area. Nice job here as Swope gets back defensively. Still loose in the area. Presley tried to give it a go, was blocked out. And that ball just bouncing around inside the Swope Park box has got to give Paulo Nagamura nightmares right now here, trying to protect this 1-goal lead.
Yeah, but I like the spirit that San Antonio is playing with. Everyone is aggressive. Everyone's fighting for the ball, trying to make things happen.
Ever Guzman coming on here in the 66th minute now. They'll take out Kyle Murphy. So now you've got Guzman, you've got Lang, Omar Gordon. You've got some attack up front. Guzman, who did play Wednesday night, played all 90 minutes in Phoenix, but we'll run out these final 23, 24 minutes or so of the second half.
This is where San Antonio can get possession on this side of the field and switch it quickly to be able to find a guy like Lang with space and time and room to run and one-on-one opportunities. That's when it becomes so dangerous.
Presley defended out. There'll be a corner. Number 7 coming up tonight for San Antonio. Tonight's match is presented by Kickapoo, Lucky Eagle Casino Hotel. Come and play. They go short. Gordon sending it in. Headed out by Rangers. San Antonio back on the ball. Lopez, combination touch with Cochran. Nice find, Gordon into the area. Gordon putting it across. Great save as Eric Dick got a hand on it to deny Cheno Guzman, who looked like he had the equalizer there for San Antonio.
Just a classic three-man combination. Doesn't get better than that.
Presley back on the throw-in. All San Antonio right now. Presley spins around, Storm to the left side. Will earn yet another corner for San Antonio. Their 8th circle kick, corner kick of the evening.
I'll tell you, we've seen great goalkeeping tonight. I think both keepers are looking to compete against each other for this week's save of the week.
Right-footed in swinger Mikey Lopez. Over to that left corner stick. Deep ball here to the back post. Gordon getting under it here, edge of the box. Gordon trying to find a channel here to get around the defender. A little bit of space opens up, returns to Ryan Felix. Not the best ball across, and that's cleared out of harm's way.
It's one of those moments for Omar that, you know, trying a little bit too much. Just keep it simple. It's about getting the service in and giving us a chance at goal.
We get a substitution for Swope Park Rangers. Brian Rebellion will come on here for Rasmabek Akhmatov here in the 69th minute. Rebellion on for Akhmatov. San Antonio FC Soccer is brought to you by Toyota. Go to buyatoyota.com or visit your local Toyota dealer today. 19th appearance for Rebellion out of Colombia, 26-year-old, 43rd career USL match. Defensive midfielder, and that's what Swope's looking for right now. They don't need an attacking player like Akhmatov in this situation as they try to protect a 1-goal lead with 20 minutes left in the match.
And that's what we talked about. At what point do you establish a more defensive posture? And I can tell you that, you know, players on the field, the coach doesn't have time to yell at them and say we're going more attacking and more defending. They know their teammates. When they see a defensive midfielder come on, mentally everyone is on the same page because it's telling them we're defending out of this.
Look how their formation is, coach. 4 in the back, 4 in the midfield, just 1 striker up front. So they're really packing it in defensively and trying to sit back. So San Antonio is going to have their opportunity here to try to break through in these last 20 minutes.
Yeah, no question. We'll have more of the play to build up. It's still big numbers to have to break down. And what we have to be careful of is not overcommitting where suddenly the counterattack opens up for Swope Park because we've sent too many forward.
Pekka, Cheno Guzman, Mikey Lopez, King and Gordon up on the right side. Lopez sending it into the area. I'm not sure whether he was looking for Omar Gordon to cut in. The miscommunication there. San Antonio has already used 2 of their substitutions to get Lance Lang and Cheno Guzman on. And here's another defensive substitute about to come on for Swope Park Rangers. Parker Marr will enter the match momentarily. And this is going to be offense against defense, coach, and may the best side win.
Well, they've obviously made the commitment to defend out of this. And like I said, is with the lead, they can afford to do that. With there being similar points in the standings, if we were able to equalize, it's still as a road point under these circumstances with everything so close, not a bad result for Swope Park. So to some extent, to defend out of it, whether you get the 3 points or the 1, you still have to feel good if you're at Swope Park about the result. For us, we've got to keep going at them, and break down that defense and get the tying goal. Make sure that we come out with a point.
Rubeon earned the foul. Bilyeu, the attacking wingback, will come out. Parker Marr will come in. They don't need Bilyeu to get forward anymore, so Parker Marr, more stable defender on the backside on that left outside fullback position, will come on here. The foul that was committed by San Antonio, that was drawn by Rubeon. I thought he embellished a little bit to earn that foul and free kick. I say they, I mean Darren Powell and everybody on the San Antonio bench.
Well, and this is something that for these young players of Swope Park that coaches are working with, is how do you manage the final 15 minutes of the game? And you manage the clock by taking your time, putting the ball into play, go down a little bit easier than normal to stop the play, to stop any momentum. If you get the ball, keep possession, be patient. You don't have to rush forward. You've got the lead. For San Antonio, it's the opposite. We've got to speed up the play. The clock is working against us, and we've got to be able to put the ball down, play quickly, get our possession forward, and look to bang a goal.
Swope concedes. Lang looking for Guzman. Actually comes down to Omar Gordon. His header was blocked out. Back up the wing here is Carlton Belmar trying to spin back around Mikey Lopez. Got a pretty good tongue on him, and a foul will be on Lopez in San Antonio. Got a great ball again in from Lance Lang after the giveaway on the outside. Bad luck for Omar Gordon. Just kind of went off the back of Parker Marr there, the defender.
Yeah, Omar's got to do a little bit better than that. It's a good opportunity.
San Antonio on the counter again. Gordon, Presley step into the ball. Contact comes with a foul. Quickly to Cochran, out on that left flank. Numbers forward for San Antonio is Presley. And Presley went down, didn't need to go down the ground there. It gives possession back here to Swope. And the Rangers now open things up a little bit here as Carlton Belmar running. His backside is Parker Marr on the left wing. Overlapping run as Belmar will give it to Marr. Corner of the box, returning it out top. Blackwood will play into the outside here. Haji Berry enters the area. Berry driving, gives it a go, and that's over frame. And a goal kick here for San Antonio. Not a lot of possession in the attacking third over these last few minutes, or several minutes really, for Swope Park Rangers, and a good job by San Antonio there getting back.
They are. I think this is a more complete half that we've played, compared to the last 3 games. So we have to take the positives from this and keep trying to build in these final 15 minutes. I have an expression, SOS, which we know in military sense is a urgency signal, but it's a shoot or serve. And too many times we're getting around the corner of the attacking box, and we're trying to play one, maybe two more short passes, thinking maybe we'll get more out of this. But at that point, at this point in the game, it's either serve the ball or shoot the ball. Create that kind of simple urgency.
Lang off of Dick, right to Gordon, and he headed it wide of frame. Eric Dick put it on a silver platter there for Omar Gordon, and that's now 2 headers that I'm sure Omar would like to have back.
I'm not going to kid him. It has anything to do with his haircut. As you know, he's a former player of mine, so I can get away with saying that. But yeah, those are great opportunities, and give credit to Lance. I mean, these are quality crosses coming in.
Boy, a lot of credit to Lance Lang, as you were mentioning. I mean, you know, he hasn't played in a month. He doesn't really know what guys he's out there playing with, tendencies, systems. I mean, that really just kind of goes out the window at this point. You just go out there and run, and that's pretty much what he's doing right now.
Right, and you know, he knows the game situation. He's an experienced player. It's about getting the ball in the box. So he may not even know the name of the players in the box, but it's about getting a good quality service in and give Perez a crack at it.
Dick had to fend off a little pressure to get that one out. Right back ahead, Connor Presley, a little back touch to Lance Lang. To Presley, a little space, corner to the box. Presley getting around the defense. Presley off of Dick, another good save for the keeper, Eric Dick there. And another throw in here for San Antonio. Well, you really could feel it here. You know, that equalizing goal seems like it's awfully, awfully close right now.
It's there. It's there. That was a great individual effort, and I would have liked, rather than trying to play through the 6 or towards the keeper, is cut it back, because the defenders drop on his line, the line of the ball, and it opens up those pockets of space to cut the ball back into.
Belmar will settle. Parker Marr. They're sending a vertical ball forward. Oh, Hedrick, he didn't do great trying to settle that one, but he was able to get it back to Matt Cardoni. Fortunate there, getting pressure from Tyler Blackwood. Hedrick. Darnell King, Mikey Lopez now. Lopez cutting back here into the middle of the field, sending it out wide. Lance Lang. Offside flag is up.
That's unfortunate, but that's what I mentioned before, starting the play on the right side of the field. And when their defense shifts over to try and close down this side, switch it quickly and find a guy like Lance on that side with space and time to run at players, and vice versa. Omar can do the same. Started on the left, switch. Those are tremendous athletes that can really get penetration and create dangerous opportunities.
One more sub left for Darren Powell, still available. One more sub left for Paulo Nagamura. This will be a foul here on Swope, and it's going to be a card, looks like, Ibrahim Rabayam. The contact with Cyprian Hedrick will be his 3rd caution of the season. This one coming in the 79th minute.
And he had just entered the game, right?
Yep.
And that's part of the message that he goes in to send, is disrupt, play physical. Don't let San Antonio's play get started. Take a yellow if you need it. It's a tactical foul right there that, without question, slows the game down and eats the clock.
Well, the urgency of this match becomes even more so here into the final 11 minutes or so when you look what's ahead for San Antonio. They're on the road in Rio Grande Valley next week, and on the road in Salt Lake City as well against the best team of the table, who's going to be looking for some redemption after losing here at Toyota Field 4-2. Then they're back at home to take on the team that just beat them 4-0, Phoenix Rising FC, and then back on the road again for 3 in a row at Tulsa, at these Swope Park Rangers, and at St. Louis before they finish the year. 3 straight home games.
That Phoenix game will be fun, because this is about payback. You know, when you get beaten that way, and you finally say, all right, we'll see you in a few weeks. It's a personal game.
Well, double payback, Coach, because I'm sure Real Monarchs SLC feels the exact same way as they're waiting for San Antonio to come next week. It's another It's another crazy week for San Antonio. They play tonight, they play Wednesday down in the Valley, and then they go out to Salt Lake City to play next Saturday night. Tough stretch of the season, and that's where it comes back after you have had so many days between games in the first half of the year.
Right. I mean, sports in the United States, you know, because of the time zone differences, the weather condition differences. I mean, you can be playing in snow up north, and you can go into 100-degree heat. You know, going as an East Coast team to play in LA, your sleep cycle is completely upside down. No sports teams in the world have to deal with the travel and time conditions that teams in the United States do.
Blackwood spins out, service into the top of the box. Haji Berry, can he make a play? He'll slip it over outside. Down to the ground goes Hedrick, still with the ball. Hernandez, shot blocked, and what a job defensively by San Antonio to get out of that without even conceding a corner. By the way, you saw Alex Bruce come on for Connor Presley just a moment ago. Bruce has scored some massive goals for San Antonio in some key situations. Spinning out is Gordon around Parker. Marr stays with the ball, hops over the defender, is brought down in space. Blackwood got him. And San Antonio is going to have a huge opportunity from a set piece from about 27, 28 yards out here.
This is tremendous effort by our players. We talked earlier in the game about needing playmaking, and that's playmaking isn't just offensive, it's defensive plays. And we're starting to see that, the team come alive. Everyone's ready to make a play tonight. And that's what makes the difference in results.
Lance Lang over the wall here. 27 yards away from goal. San Antonio in search of an equalizer.
This is where Lance is dangerous.
Already put a wicked shot earlier on goal from a near similar spot, and keeper Eric Dick, moving to the opposite direction, was able to come back and make the save.
Yeah, he knows how to do this.
His left-footed midfielder Lance Lang. Dick, better position that one to get under that for the save. Didn't appear as dangerous on the delivery in from Lance Lang. What'd you see here, Coach?
I thought it was very well taken. I think the keeper read it very well, and maybe didn't have the velocity it needed to beat the keeper. But overall, a good shot. It's on goal.
Haji Berry gives it a strike off of Cardoni, reaching out to make the save. Not sure that was targeted for goal, but Cardoni wasn't taking any chances.
Outstanding save. Not just how he extends his entire body, but he actually makes up distance. You know, uses the strength in his legs to explode and extend his body further than just laying down the length of your body.
It's the third corner for Swope Park Rangers in the first of this second half. As we move into the 84th minute, Swope hanging on to a 2-1 lead.
Like I said, this is where you have to keep arm's length from your opponent. If he's more than arm's length, you don't have him.
And this is where they've been dangerous all night. Good service to the back post. That's defended out by Felix. To the opposite stick we go for the fourth corner for the visitors. And the slow trot, very slow trot from Felipe Hernandez.
Yeah, they're working the clock.
From one side of the field to the other.
They're working the clock. That's just the way it is.
Look at him. He gets a drink of water. Maybe somebody can give him a sandwich on his way over there.
Yeah. I mean, the only way that a referee can control this at this point is to add extra time to compensate, or you have to give a yellow card.
Stall tactics at their finest. Hernandez service in. This one got over Hedrick and landed right to Omar Gordon. Return ball to the keeper, Cardoni. Sky this one out, Cheno Guzman. It's a throw in for San Antonio. 5 minutes, whatever added time remaining. And again, more stall tactics. And I think you're right. I think you got to maybe give a yellow here. soon.
Yeah.
If Swope's going to continue to do this.
Right.
The San Antonio's done this too. We've seen Diego Restrepo do this numerous times, and he's been served a yellow. King, who is sitting on a yellow, is getting a talking to from the center referee. But you're right. The only way you can control that is by handing out cards.
Right, and the fact is the opposing player who is not in possession is not supposed to be picking up that ball. You leave the ball, you back up. It is San Antonio's ball. You don't end up with that confrontation. And if the players are picking it up, the referee has to control that with yellow cards.
Play the advantage here as Pekka sends it upfield. Gordon, service into the back post, was looking in Alex Bruce's direction and just a little bit beyond the reach of the young Bruce.
It's a great ball through the sixth. This is where the San Antonio players have to sense blood and really have to attack that 6-yard box. We're not talking about waiting for the ball to find you. You have to hunt the ball.
I know there's time left, but I'm sure Darren Powell sitting on the sideline thinking, man, if we had this urgency right from the start of the game tonight, would this scoreline look considerably different than it does right now?
You would not be going into halftime 2-0 down, for sure. So that's something that has to be solved. How do we come out, almost playing like we're a goal down, with the hunger and desire and passion that tries to get you back in the game.
Good tackle there from Ryan Felix. Switching the play across. Colton Storm, Lance Lang, it's Storm. Barry's a little slow to get back up there on the other side of the field. San Antonio in possession, though. Keep the possession, and as long as they hang on to the possession here, I don't think they'll let the play stop. Felix just kept it alive on the touchline. Keeps things moving here for San Antonio. And they take advantage here with a man down. It's Cochran driving. Cochran gives it a go on Fran Dick there with a save. And now we should get the time allotted here with the injury to Haji Berry upfield. That'll certainly add some time in stoppage.
It will. With the number of substitutes we've seen, usually they give 30 seconds per substitution. So we've seen 4 of that, and we've seen a goal. So, you could be looking at 3-4 minutes, some of the stalling tactics, and that's going to be some good added time for us.
Final substitute about set to come on here for Swope Park Rangers. Mateus Silva is getting ready to go in. Rebellion gets a word from the sideline. And here's Silva, the former San Jose Earthquake, will come on for Carlton Belmar. And probably a smart play here, Coach. If Belmar is laboring a little bit with that hamstring after going down, you obviously don't want him on the field caught in a vulnerable position.
No, and fresh legs, nothing wrong with that. It's killing time, even the substitution, even though some time will be added. They're playing the clock game. And this is a good possession player. That's something you do when you want to defend out of games. It's not just about tackling and defending. It's about taking care of the ball, and don't let San Antonio gain possession easily.
So Silva, the 22-year-old on here in the 88th minute. A bit foul on Mikey Lopez here. Swope Park Rangers was down a goal in this exact situation San Antonio was a week ago last Saturday night against Reno. They scored in stoppage time to equalize. It was Haji Berry getting the equalizing goal that tied things up at 3, and that was the final scoreline. So you certainly know and are very familiar with the position that San Antonio is in right now here as we approach stoppage time in the second half.
Well, and in training, as we often, at the end of a practice, when you're scrimmaging 11 against 11, we'll put teams in situations where you're saying, for the next 10 minutes you're playing a man down or a goal down, or for the next 10 minutes you're playing a goal up, so that you work on the tactics to manage through these moments. And I think that Swope Park is very well schooled.
Fifth corner coming up. Felipe Hernandez with the ever slow trot to the corner stick.
Can't move much slower than that.
He is. I was going to say my 3-year-old goes a little bit faster.
And you see now they're using the stalling in the corner, not even worried about taking the corner.
Another corner right there.
Yeah.
Or they'll actually go for throw. 90th minute. Barry trying to make the turn. Rebellion. Silva back to Barry. Out top, Rebellion slipping it in, looking to Haji Barry. Silva can't get under the end of it. San Antonio able to clear out. Parker Marr elevates to keep it down. Nice job there by Mikey Lopez to win the ball away from Silva. Shrugs off the contact, just didn't play it properly forward past Marr. And it's off Mikey Lopez for a throw. 5 minutes of added time is what we'll have here in the second half. 5 minutes is what remains for San Antonio to try to get the equalizer.
And that's a good amount of time. But I'd say offensively, most of your attacks have come from wide positions, so keep going with that. Switch the play, open up one side, and let Omar on one side and Lang on the other get your penetration and services into the box. We haven't seen too much coming through the center offensively for us tonight, not creating shots outside the 18, not the channel or the penetrating pass through the center. It's all been wide play, so get back to that.
Cochran lofting it across to Lance Lang. Play it back to Felix. Almost 1 minute gone, and he added 5. Hendrick, pressure from Haji Barry, return ball. Cardoni, Ryan Felix now. Cochran cutting back to the middle of the field.
This is where they have to move the ball quickly, have to move it in a positive direction, looking forward and getting past people.
Gordon and Cochran don't connect on the combination play. Almost would have rather seen Omar hold on the ball, wait for Cochran to make that overlapping run. Now you got an overlapping runner here, Parker Marr. And this is where Swope's possession and their strength really helps them in this situation.
It does. They're very patient, very calm and composed on the ball right now. They just want to keep it out of San Antonio's feet. If the extra goal comes, it comes, but be patient.
There's the scoring summary tonight. Haji Barry in the 6th minute, the captain Amer Didic in the 25th, Darnell King with a long goal tonight for San Antonio FC in the 54th minute. Blackwood down in the corner. Him and King fighting for the ball. It'll be San Antonio with a throw. And almost halfway through the allotted 5 minutes of added time. And
it's a bad giveaway.
It's an unfortunate giveaway there for San Antonio. It allows Barry to come back in space here inside the area. Barry brushes off the defender, and then he gives the ball away, and San Antonio gets out to the break. Nice turn upfield by Alex Bruce to Omar Gordon. Lang running ahead. Lang return ball. Didn't get enough on it there to Gordon. It should. Oh, did it go off Omar? Did it go off the defender? Went off a defender. It's a corner for San Antonio. Maybe number 9 of the night for San Antonio FC. The defender for Swope Park Rangers goes to ground. The captain, Amer Didic, trying to stretch it out here.
It's where you could start to consider even Cardona coming up, into the box on a final corner kick.
It's Lang to take it. Get it over the first defender, and that's a little bit of that rust, Coach. I'm sure that it's probably setting into this point of the match for him.
It is, and he's not used to this surface, so knowing how much to get under the ball on a very tight surface like this with a sand base.
Marr
it's going to take him
into the box, cross. Nice job by Hedrick to prevent the attacker on the right side from getting on the end of it and finishing this one off for Rangers. But it unfortunately results in a corner for Swope Park, and they can continue to kill some clock with a minute or so remaining here in this allotted 5 of stoppage time of the second half.
Yeah, referees should be able to add time even in the extra time, but typically they never do.
Maybe a half minute or so at most.
Maybe.
Felipe Hernandez over to take it. San Antonio is going to have a lot of the field to push here in these last 60 or so seconds. Swope Park Rangers not just content with just keeping the ball over there in the corner. They'll concede here to Cardone, but San Antonio's got to hurry. Peck upfield, Gordon. To Mikey Lopez out wide to the right side. Chance for service. Gidic there with the defense. Lopez again sending it in. Good ball into the area. Headed out. Nice ball whipped in by Mikey Lopez. Cochran placing it out wide. Lance Lang. Lang cutting back into the inside. Lang sending it in. Oh, Chelo Guzman down to the end of it, but put it wide. And the flag went up anyway on Alex Bruce, who was ahead of him. Even if Guzman had put it in, it wouldn't have counted. It
was a great opportunity.
And Alex kind of got caught in an odd position there ahead of Guzman. We're already past the 5 minutes here. They'll keep an eye on the clock. You see Alex Bruce offside just ahead of Guzman. The possession here right now for Swope Park Rangers. We're already past the 5 minutes of added time. One last push here for San Antonio. Silva. That will do it. Swope Park Rangers hangs on in the second half as San Antonio FC made a valiant effort in the final 45 minutes tonight, but comes up short 2-1 as Swope Park Rangers snaps their 8-game winless streak. Wins for the first time since July 5th. San Antonio drops their 4th consecutive game, and the two sides switch spots in the table. Swope moves into 8th. San Antonio falls to 9th.
I think the second half, there's a lot to take away from that for San Antonio. Like I said, they've had a string of mistake-filled games, and to be able to come out and give up no goals second half, they were making big plays, not just playing the game. They were playmakers out there at both ends. Some great attacks, great defending, and that's something to take away the positives from. Watch the film and get ready for the next one.
Coach, great to have you on. Great to have your insight. Enjoy the rest of the season.
Love it. Great.
Your club's season continues on. It's another busy week for San Antonio FC. They'll head down to Rio Grande Valley on Wednesday and then to Salt Lake City to take on the top team of the table, Real Monarchs, on Saturday night. Kickoff Wednesday at 7. Keep up with the team on the road. Follow San Antonio FC social. Now for the coach, Tim Hankinson, Anya Rosales, and our entire Fox Sports crew, I'm Dan Weiss. Thanking you for joining us. A final from Toyota Field. San Antonio FC falls 2-1 to Swope Park Rangers. This has been a presentation of the USL and Spurs Sports and Entertainment. So long, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.